Welcome, travelers, to PA's Nightmare Wednesdays. As always, welcome to my realm of nightmares. Allow me to be your personal assistant in my realm. Come in, take a seat, get comfortable, for when you step into my realm, there's no stepping out. Locked in this dark room, it's been weeks since I've seen another person. Sitting here in this 4x10 cell, they have not fed me more than some moldy bread and water 3 times a day. These conditions are inhuman at best, but I guess, considering what led me here, this is no less than I deserve. Reflecting back on the events of the day that led me to this place, it was no different than any other day. Wake up, make my bed, take my meds, and then breakfast. However, that day, I guess the meds were not doing their job, or something triggered my schizophrenia. But either way, Steve reared his ugly head. He got my food and approached the table that I normally sat at. I always counted 6 rows across and 6 down. It was the very last table on the right side of the room. I always sat in the center of the table every day. Getting to my table, I noticed 3 new guys sitting there, and one of them was sitting in my seat. I heard Steve speak. "Kill them," he said to me. "They're in your seat. They have no respect for you. You must show them this is your table, so they will respect you." So I approached them without saying a word. Standing behind the one in my seat, the other 2 did not notice me until I brought the fork up and stabbed him repeatedly in the neck. The second one went to get up, so I smacked him with my food tray and shoved the fork in his eye, ripping the eye out of his socket with a wet pop. As I pulled the fork out of his eye, the third one got up and ran away to retrieve the guards. I stood there, covered in warm blood. Oh, I felt at home for the first time in so long. I waited no more than a few moments, and I heard the sound of alarms go off, and in ran the guards, armed with batons and pepper spray. As they approached me, I clutched the fork, with the still clinging eye on it. As they slowly advanced on me, I charged. These assholes were not gonna take me without a fight, I thought to myself, laughing hysterically. I swung at the closest guard. Oh, the next thing I knew, I felt the familiar sting of pepper spray in my eye. If they thought this would stop me, they were sadly mistaken. I continued to swing, catching one of the guards in the neck, but they were not as easily taken down as the unsuspecting sap I killed moments ago. However, once I physically assaulted one of the guards, I felt them hit me in the ribs with their batons, and they kept smacking me until I was unconscious. Waking up in the infirmary, I was bandaged up. My head hurt a lot, and I could not see straight. But once they noticed I was awake, they threw me in the cell. This cell is pitch black, and no light is ever let in. However, in the dark is my old friend, and it's nice to have him back. From one corner of the cell, I heard Steve speak. "You did good today, but today was just the beginning. Next time, you will take more than just a few bodies. I want more blood employees of this building, or I'll take it from you. The choice I leave up to you. I used to be afraid of him. However, now he doesn't want to hurt me. He wants to set me free and be free himself. In 1863, during the American Civil War, the Battle of Gettysburg raged on, becoming the bloodiest battle to be fought on American soil. 3 soldiers fighting for the Confederacy, disguised in Union attire, marched on with Union forces. Once discovered, the Union promptly made an example of them. They were hanged until dead, right here at Sacks-Covered Bridge. The hanging took place at dusk, which is historically the time that most hangings would occur. The historian in Luke was enthralled in the story. His guide was weaving. "Ouch!" Luke yelled, feeling a sharp poke into his side, spinning around to glare at whoever just poked him. His girlfriend April had a sheepish grin on her face. Luke scoffed. "What was that for?" "I was talking to you and you were ignoring me," April smirked. "I was paying attention to my tour guide. You know I love history. Maybe you should listen. You could learn something for a change," Luke said, annoyed. Turning back to his guide and listening to her. "Legend has it, if you are unlucky enough to be on the bridge at the time of their death, you will meet the same fate as the soldiers." The tour guide looks at the crowd and gives them a playful wink. "But it's fine. We have not had to cover up any deaths in years." The crowd laughed at her joke. After the tour guide was finished telling her tale, April spins on her heels to look at Luke. "Okay, she's done now. Can we go? I'm bored, and it's hot. I want ice cream," April complains. Yes, we can go now. Let's just find Tyler," Luke placated her. Finding Tyler, they set out to go to one of the many ice cream parlors in Gettysburg. While eating their ice cream, April makes the suggestion with a mischievous grin on her face. "We're going to the bridge at dusk that you seem to enjoy so much, Luke, and see if the ghosts really exist, or more than likely, they are fake as shit. Still, it'll make for a great story." Tyler looks over at April, his mouth agape. He continues to stare at her as if she has 3 heads. He yells in the middle of the ice cream parlor, "On a scale of 1 to hell no, you can go fuck yourself. I am not stepping foot on that bridge." "Come on, man," Luke coaxes Tyler. "It's fine. Nothing bad will happen. It's all made up for the tourists. No one actually believes this shit. It's just for fun, man. And to get more out of the trip, we'll most likely never be here again. I will come along to be a lookout for you two. I can't have you getting arrested after all. But, mark my words, I will not, and I repeat, not be stepping foot on that fucking bridge. That is out of the question. You have a problem with that? I will not be coming along on your little suicide mission." April laughs at him. "Okay, if you want to be a coward and believe in that superstitious crap, it's fine, but we are going." After eating their ice cream, the group goes to the hotel room, changing, showering, and getting ready for the night's events. About an hour before dusk, they head out to the bridge. Once they get there, the atmosphere is ominously thick. But what Tyler noticed most was the lack of noise. No insects or other sounds could be heard near the bridge. But just before they got close to the bridge, the night seemed just like any other night. Approaching the bridge, April and Luke set foot as the sun began to fade and dusk set in. A fog started to form around them. Tyler, that refused to set foot on the bridge, watched on. Soon he was not able to see Luke or April anymore. Still able to hear them, he was not worried. As if on cue, both of them screamed. Not wanting to set foot on the bridge, he screams, What? What's going on? Slowly as the fog begins to fade, he sees the bodies of his two friends suspended in the air by ropes, swaying back and forth, even though there was no wind. Nicholas and Annie, twins, always enjoyed fall. They enjoyed the cornfields, the corn mazes, the pumpkins, the weather, and even the changing of the leaves. They always would play games in the cornfields any chance they got. Living in Pennsylvania, especially in farm country, there was an abundance of cornfields, so they never had to play in the same field twice. However, the farmers would never take too kindly to them playing in their fields, and they always tried to avoid the fields that would house the scarecrows. For some reason, scarecrows would always unnerve them. There was always something off about them. Like at any second, they could come to life and get you. But sometimes, you just can't avoid playing in the cornfields that house those creepy fucking bastards. On this late October afternoon, Annie and Nicholas did just that, and it was to their dismay these events transpired. Leaving their house, then running to the nearest cornfield for a little bit of afternoon shenanigans, Nicholas and Annie stopped dead in their tracks. They quickly realized this cornfield housed a scarecrow, but they decided it was well worth it. As they ventured into the cornfield, immediately they grew uncomfortable. They had a feeling that at any moment something was going to come around the corner and grab them. Nicholas spoke to Annie. "I don't think we should be here, Annie. There's something not right." The sounds of disembodied laughter from children could be heard. Annie looked at Nicholas and said, "What was that?" Nicholas responds, "I don't know, Annie, but we need to get out of here now." They were not very deep in the cornfield at this point. They began to run, and it seemed they had been running for ages, but not making any progress in getting out of the cornfield. The children's laughter surrounded them. Both of the twins were running away from the disembodied voices, trying to escape, but no matter where they turned to, the voices seemed to be all around them. The voices were whispering, "This way. Don't go that way. Follow us." But the children were not paying attention to them. They thought that if they just kept running in a straight line, they would have to reach the other side. The field was not that big. They had been running for quite some time. Finally, they came to a clearing, and in the center sat a malevolent-looking scarecrow. It just sat there looking down on them. It seemed to be daring them to run, just so he could chase them down. But scarecrows can't come to life, Nicholas thought to himself. We were just lost in a cornfield, close to dusk. It's causing our imaginations to run wild. Out of breath, both of the children collapsed at the foot of the scarecrow. Nicholas looked up at that ugly bastard, smirking at it, and asked, "What the hell are you looking at, buddy?" Annie asked Nicholas, "What is going on here? Why can't we find the way out of this field? We've done this thing millions of times before and never had a problem." "This is a new field, Annie. That's all. We will find our way out. It'll be okay, Annie." Annie yelled, "Really? You're just gonna pretend like you didn't hear all that fucking laughter and the voices? So you're just gonna pretend like this is all absolutely normal, like we're just skipping through a fucking field of daisies, huh? You don't have to be so snarky, Annie. Why do you always have to be so emotional? This situation is no different from any other time we have done this. We just need to get up and start moving. We will eventually come to a way out. It's not like we are locked in here with some supernatural being. Let's go. We can't stay here all night," Nicholas proclaimed. The scarecrow's hand grasped Nicholas by the hair and pulled him up to meet his face. With a sinister grin, the scarecrow pulled the knife out of his belt, plunged it deep into his stomach, and slowly pulled it left to right as Nicholas's intestines fell to the floor. The scarecrow tossed him aside like he was a toddler. Training his focus on Annie, the scarecrow slowly removed himself off the pole that held him up. Annie started to run, But once again, the spirit started to surround her. Go this way. He's gonna get you. No, you're going the wrong way. Follow us. The disembodied voices commanded her to follow them, but she just assumed this was another trap set by the cornfield and continued to run in a straight line. She kept running, then running. The next thing she knew, she was back in the center of the cornfield. She was now face to face with that thing that had just killed her twin brother. She spun around and tried to run, but it grabbed her hair. He ran the blade across her throat. After both the kids were dead, the scarecrow removed their hearts and consumed them, going back to his perch to overlook the land once more. Now that he had his sacrifices, this land would prosper and flourish once more, as well as no harm would come to this land or its occupants. Such was the pact that the ancestors of this land had made with him all those years ago. Now that the children were dead, they could see the spirits of the other children that were in the field. We were trying to help you, not hurt you. If you'd listened to us, we could have shown you the way out. Now, just like us, your souls are doomed to wander these fields for all time. Nicholas and Annie both did not believe that they were trapped in the cornfield, so the spirits of the past sacrifices escorted them to the boundaries of the field. As the children tried to escape their new prison, they noticed in the distance their parents running up to the house of the person who owned this land. Annie and Nicholas' parents were in desperate search of their kids. They furiously pounded on the farmer's door. John, the farmer, answered the door. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Jenkins. What can I do for you this evening? Have you seen our kids? Miss Jackson exclaimed in a panicked tone. She stated, You know what time of year it is. We have not had the lottery yet. John cursed, Shit. Them are your young'uns? Well, I saw them enter my field a while back. I tried to stop them, but they crossed into the Veneers' domain. Their fates were sealed. Tonight's stories were written by me. If you enjoyed these short stories, please let me know, and I'll consider doing another installment in the future. Also, if you enjoyed this content, please check out my good friend 242 Reads. She's an amazing content creator, and you will certainly enjoy your stay over in her realm. Also, I now have merch. If you would like to walk around representing my realm and gaining new travelers, the links will be in the description below. Now, let's move on to the word of the week. This week's word of the week is hiccup, an involuntary spasm of the diaphragm and respiratory organs. Also, a misstep in a plan one may have concocted. Last week's comment that I enjoyed the most was from 242 Reads. She said, My house is older, well taken care of. You say, find it clean and well taken care of? But in my study you find a quaint desk made of fine wood. Looking at the papers would show you the experiments I've done, and you may be my next subject. Thank you, 242. I really appreciated that comment. Also, I want to say thank you to my lovely Patreons. 242 Reads, Rando Calrissian, Pam, Silver Threads, Seraphine, the Midnight Bard, Creepy Clown Girl, Mia Mina, Philia Noctis, and Hair-Raising Narratives. If you'd like to join these lovely travelers by the light of my fire and become a Patreon, the links will be in the description below. The support is always appreciated but never expected. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, as it does really help with the algorithm. But as always, travelers, once you step into my realm, there's no stepping out.